Marvin Burton, you're back on the podcast. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Not many people have me back, so thanks for that. It sets a new trend.
Well, that's good to know. Tell us what you're up to now. You've moved into a new role. Tell us about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I think to be honest, it's an organic role that's come, and I think other industries already have it. It's quite new in the fitness industry in the fact that it's a bit of a rename. But I work in a customer experience role, and I'll define that in a second. But this isn't new to Apple, Amazon, M&S, even airlines. They all have it. If you look at the top performing 100 companies in the world and businesses, they all have a director of customer experience, or CX as it's called, if you're cool enough to call it that, CX.
Right.
You've probably heard of UX, user experience. If you work in a tech company, you have someone that's in charge of CX and UX. So all these little roles that pop up. I suppose for us as the fitness industry, you've always known people that if I said I was an expert in retention, you would know exactly what I was talking about. And essentially, that's what we're all trying to do. We're trying to make sure that the people that walk through the door, well, they walk through the door in the first place, and then they stay in there, because at the end of the day, that's profitability to a club or a gym or a group exercise instructor. It's how many people come and visit you, how often they visit you, and how long the duration is of that. So my aim really is the core value is, can I affect that? And how we go about that is the next step, which is what is customer experience.
So for a fitness professional who
Mhm.
maybe a personal trainer or group X, what
Yeah.
does it mean every touch point? Does it mean how you get people into your business, the new leads? Or is it when they actually get through the door, as you've
Yeah.
said, how they're looked after? Is that what
Yeah,
experience is?
kind of. Yeah. You nearly tripped up on it then, because it's because people get customer service and customer
Yeah.
experience mixed up. So let's start there, because there's
Yeah.
a little bit of a difference between them as well. So customer service is more of a reactive, what you would do when you have somebody. So if someone walks in, you say, "Hi, welcome to the gym, welcome to my class." That's good customer service. Customer experience is having a plan for when they come in. So what's your onboarding process? So customer service is reactive, and customer experience is proactive. So what I do is look at the before, the during, and the after. And I look at all the touch points that you have, whether it be your online social media, whether it be when they're in front of you. So it will include some customer service. But I've had people before and said, "Can you come and do a talk on customer experience?" And when I do it, it blows their mind, because they thought I would talk about things like saying hi and bye when you leave, or sending them a birthday card. I'm like, no, 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 because one of two things. Number one, that's already an expectation. If I walk into a hotel, a car dealership, Starbucks coffee, it doesn't matter where it is, my expectation is you say hello and goodbye. That's just normal customer service. So you're not going to learn that from me. That's just basic, the way our DNA is. Some people are better at it because they're happier and more approachable and confident talking, and some people aren't. So I can't really change that. I can affect it, but I can't change it. But when it comes to customer experience, we can change that, because we can say, okay, how do I forget everyone's birthday, or not even know what they are? So I would say, right, do you have a system that when people take their park cues, it
Mm.
pulls that information, or you manually take that information? So all your calendar reminders are already set. That would be a good example of customer experience. You're already planning the route to, how do I make sure I don't forget people's birthdays? So it's operational success is what we're looking at as well. It's not just, smile when they come in. So
Got it.
you see what I mean?
So,
It goes a
yeah,
lot.
I can see the total difference because I would have definitely confused customer service with customer experience.
Yeah.
So you're right. So the customer service is the reaction, the questions, the answers, but this is planning for that the entire journey then
Yes.
of the
Yeah.
client, of the customer.
Yeah.
You're going to lots of gyms and you're visiting Group X and things. Where are you seeing problems with customer experience? Where is it falling down?
Most people think there's an endpoint, and they think that my job is tell them this and it finishes. That's one of the key ones. So, for example, they'll say, okay, we should plan our social media. And I'll come on to something else in a minute. I try and use as many examples as I can. So, say,
Mhm.
every Monday I'll do Movement Monday, and we'll do an exercise. And Tuesday will be Tone Up Tuesday. And they kind of get this process, and I go, that's great. But again, if you're being proactive, there's no endpoint to this, because you're constantly refining. I know that you'll do this, Rachel, because I've known you for many years, and some people won't. But you'll look at things like analytics, and you'll look at what time did I post, which one was my most impactful, which type of content gets the most likes and shares. Now you're constantly reviewing and analyzing. Now it becomes proactive because you're thinking about what comes next. And if you know the trends and patterns, you will then be able to forecast where you're going to get the most success. So again, if I give you another example and we go away from fitness, so I like to go away from fitness, not because I have a fascination with the things. I think that if you're going to benchmark and you stay within your industry, you'll never really succeed to where you should be. But if I benchmark against someone like Amazon, who are completely dominant globally, you know that there's an aspiration to go higher. So if you think the buying process of Amazon is before you even go on to, if you just open up Amazon, it already suggests things for you. So it knows things like trends and habits. So that's a good analytic to have. When you then purchase something, before you even press buy, it will say things like, is a comparison of other products. Or it will say, okay, you're buying this product, but have you thought of, most people buy these things with it. If you're buying a t-shirt, it will say, do you want the jumper and do you want the trousers and you want the trainers with it? So it'll try and it's an upsell tactic. But again, it's that process. And again, at the end of it, it will say, thank you for purchasing. And then it will tell you when it's in delivery, when it's in shipping, when it's going to arrive at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 stops. And then when it comes, it will say, what was your feedback on the delivery? Can you see where this is going?
Yeah, so much more.
All you was doing was buying a pair of hair grips, and all of a sudden you've got all this. And then a month later, it will say, you're thinking about buying another one. Do you want to subscribe? They're all automations. And let's just bring it back to, let's say I'm a group exercise instructor in your village hall, because I don't want you to think that, well, I'm not Amazon, I'm that. But they are things that you should or could be looking at, like attendance figures, or what kind of, even if you're just not doing a basic survey, you go on Google Forms and make your own survey and just do, hey guys, I just want to know which was the class this month that you like the most. What type of exercises do you want to see more of? And I get that some people say, oh, no one does surveys anymore. I understand that. But even if 10% of your market do it, the other 90% will see your intent to improve. And then what that's doing is that's building trust. So if I can see, let's say if I'm going to buy new double glazing windows for my house, I'll look at what other people have said. I'll look at what their feedback is. Now, I'm not necessarily a person that I've started giving more feedback now, good and bad, because I think everyone should. So I've got it almost ingrained in me now. It's a habit. A lot of people don't have that habit. They'll only do surveys and feedback when it's bad. So I'm trying to make it a conscious thing to give good feedback and progressive feedback, things they can build on. So now if I look at sending out a survey, I'm not concerned that 90% of people didn't reply. What I'm concerned about is 100% people had the intent and the option to. Now it's better because I'm thinking about the future. Okay, if I do this again in 6 months, 2 months, or a year, 11% of people then reply. I know I'm getting somewhere, but this is a cultural shift. You won't, the first time you send a survey, you won't get a good response rate in most cases, but you will start to see an increase when people start to know that what you're doing is working. You are implementing the changes, you're rewarding progress, and you incentivize it. So even if
this is golden, Marv, golden.
you see where the rabbit hole goes deeper. And if I cut this back to you first, and what are you doing? I do this for, if you want to buy one product, I'll go into this detail. If you want to buy a whole gym, I will go into this much detail. It doesn't matter to me. Does it matter your industry? Does it matter the product? I need to know what you're doing. I need to know what the needs are. And then we can look at things like demographics, personas, average ages. Now, if you go back, I've been in the industry 23 years. So I know people like Dr. Paul Bedford do this. He calls himself the retention guru. He's a good friend of mine, and it's brilliant what he does. And if you look at LinkedIn, he does his lunchtime lessons. If you don't have a look at it. When I read them, I think these are all customer experience things. I call it customer experience. He calls it retention. I think the thing is that what Paul's done, and it's a good promotion for Paul, isn't it? I'm saying this, but it's a great compliment to him. What Paul's done is to try and reinforce and prove it. He's done millions and thousands and trillions of surveys. He goes to somebody and say, keep giving me. And he's collated so much feedback over years and years and years that when you say, well, how do you know it works? He'll just say, here's the research. Now, I don't pull out the research. Mine, just like yours, is based on what I see, user trends. And sometimes you don't get feedback from just going in a gym and seeing what people do. You won't get any data on how many times a dumbbell gets curled, but I'll know that the free weights is full at 6 p.m. So you don't always need someone to say that. Sometimes it's just experience will do that. And from my experience of cruise ships, residential homes, sports teams, village hall gyms, group exercise, personal training. I've finally got to a point of 23 years when someone said, I'll pay for your brain. And for me, it's great because I'm just giving an opinion. So it's all that. I'm almost like I want to be your trusted advisor. I suppose
Got
you
it.
could look at it that way.
Got it.
So yeah.
Gosh, this is mine. So, I mean, that's just a very simple piece that somebody could take away today. They could use SurveyMonkey, and they could, because we hear this all the time, and that's what people say. Well, people don't respond. I don't get much of a response. Why would I bother? And then I think people don't bother, so they don't follow it up. They don't do it again in 6 months. They just think, okay, well, that doesn't work. No one's interested in filling out a survey, so I'm not going to do it. So that needs to be something that every business does. How often, Marv, do they need to do it?
Well, again, this is dependent on how big your business is and what you want to branch it into. I think sometimes you have to ask questions with intent.
Yeah.
So just putting a survey together, I've scratched the surface, but what we really need to know is, what do you want to get from these results? So for me, typically, if I use the example of a whole gym operator, the most common question I get from a gym is, what's the return on my investment? I spend X amount of money fitting out a gym with, I don't know, a new cycling studio, a new free weights, whatever. What's my return on that? And that's difficult because sometimes, and this is very common in British culture, we pay for something that we don't use, but we know we have at our disposal. You might join a really expensive health club or boutique, never go to the gym or boutique or spend your money in the coffee shop, but you tell all your friends, I'm a member at that health club or that tennis. So you never use the classes. So if you just look at how many people attend a class, that won't tell you the full story. So I know you've asked how often should you do it. That's why your numbers go up and down, and purely looking at numbers alone won't tell you the full story. You have to do many different things. So what I'd say is, for someone that's maybe unsure or not confident on this, what about if it was every time you teach a fitness Pilates class, at the end of it, everybody that came gets a, please rate today's class, 1 bad, 5 good, nothing else, just that. If you just did that and 20 people deferred that in, and 20 people said 5 out of 5, then the next thing you put on social media is 100% of my class has given an overall satisfaction score of 100%.
Fantastic.
Now you've got insight. Now that's all trends are. You look at a hair product advert and it will say 6 out of 10 people said their hair looks so shiny, and you think 10. That's it. And you're putting this on international TV. Yes. Because because when you have numbers and data, you start to build trust. It reinforces that what you're doing is working. And that's what we don't tend to do in the fitness industry. We'll train someone for 10 PT sessions, and at the end of it, our only success marker is, do you want another 10? Well, no. It's either no or yes. So what's the reason? When did it go wrong? Let's just talk about personal trainers for a second. This is something that I came across a few years back, and I wish I'd known it when I was 16 when I started, and it was that long ago. They talk about member journey. You go to a gym, and I won't mention names, doesn't matter. Most health clubs have a member journey defined, and it will say something like, sign up, get a free consultation, be given a 7-day program, have a body scan, we'll see you in 10 days. Blah, blah, and it maps it out. You could Google Starbucks's drive-through member journey. It tells you. Most companies have a journey for their customers.
Yeah.
And then I went to a gym operator once and I said, okay, do you sell PT? Yeah, we sell PT. We sell them in packs of 10, packs of this. I said, no problem. What's your client journey look like? And he was just silent. And he went, well, the PTs take care of that. I went, well, I've been teaching the PT course for 15 years. I've never once taught anybody about a client journey. So we talk about writing a program, but I'm talking about a client journey. So if you said to me, hey, Marvin, do you want to buy a 10-pack PT session? Yeah, okay. What do you do on session 4? And then they'll probably backtrack and reverse and say, well, it depends on what you do on that. So you need to have an answer for that, because I don't know what's on session 4. And I wouldn't know. You can't know that answer.
Yeah.
But you should know how to say, if someone says to me, I would like to sign up for 10 sessions with you, you should be able to map out and say, look, we're going to do 10 sessions. On sessions 1, 5, and 10, I'm going to do an assessment, because I want to make sure that what we're doing is making an impact. This is what I want you to do. This is my expectation level of what you do when I'm not with you. This is how you can cancel. This is how you should do. You should lay out everything. And then If you spend that much time making sure that that client's got everything, I'm going to send you this, I'm going to do that for you. The minute they sign up, you do a personalized video on your phone and WhatsApp them and say, I can't wait to see you on Wednesday for our session, Rachel. Make sure you bring water, but every single thing that goes above and beyond their expectations. Now you have a customer experience, and now you have a customer journey. And you can refine that, because what you'll find is if you've built that much rapport and you've built that much empathy and you've done that much to go above and beyond any other personal trainer, qualifications won't matter. They'll stay with you because they like spending time with you and they see value in what you do. You're adding value to just lift weights, count tempo, write down numbers. That's what's missing, and that's what the fitness industry needs more of.
Wow, this is brilliant, Marv. Oh, you are genius, genius. So roll it back to the group fitness, hiring space, doing community. I would always advocate sign up for Trustpilot, get people on Google reviews and collect as many reviews as you can. Everything we buy now, we get an email straight back that says review this product, don't we? Is that enough? So is there software where you can rate this out of 5, or would it be something that you create yourself to send out? And would you automate that process? So every time at the end of a class, all clients get that message. How would it look?
Yeah, I think that will be individually based on how many classes you do, how many people attend, how much time you have. If it's not your full-time job, this is a side hustle you do one night a week. If you've got the bandwidth to do it, great. So if we start at the lowest denominator, if you're someone that does 1 or 2 classes a week, the free option of using something like Google Forms, what it does now, its intelligence is improved. When you get the responses, it automatically makes your insights. It already does it. So it gives you a pie chart of response rate. It gives you success rates. And if you make one of these forms and you put a paragraph with words where people can write, so it might say, are you willing to give a testimonial? And you might put that in, and you put the option to leave a paragraph. Just quickly, if anyone's never made one before, when you write the question, it will say, do you want it to be a multiple choice? Do you want it to be a sliding scale? Do you want it to be a short answer or a long answer? And you have to dictate what that is. And it's as simple as click one. So if it's something like that, and it says, thank you for coming to my fitness Pilates class. Would you like to give me a testimonial? And you select the option paragraph. At the end of that, and when people respond, it'll create something called a word cloud. And it'll pick out all the keywords and it'll put it there. So even a photo of that says,
wow, this is
what people think of my class. Great, innovative, invigorating, feel great, mind clearing. It will give you that. Take a screenshot. There's your social media post.
Google Forms has really come on.
It's really improved. Yeah, you can generate QR codes now so people can scan them. It works really well. And then the other thing is to respond to them, because we've got to think again, go above and beyond. You're going to have to think, we've got to respond to these people, even if it's thank you, a thumbs up, a high five, whatever it might be, a free class, bring a friend next week on me. That's always a good one. Thanks for giving me a review. Next week, bring a friend for free. Those kind of things, it's going to lead to more work for you. So, that's what we're looking at.
You're right. I mean, I grew up in a pub. My dad was the genius at doing all this. It's such good basic customer care, but it's so overlooked. How would somebody do the same with an online business? So someone's got a subscription membership, which they've got the data, they've got all the sign up details. So would they do the same? Send that at the end of a week, at the end of a class, at the end of a masterclass?
Yeah. Again, if you've got lots and lots and lots, it's going to be hard to do it frequently and with lots of people, and you're always going to be getting responses at random times. So you just got to think, again, this is about being proactive. You know your business and you know how many people you've got. So you've got to think, how much work can I take on? And it might be that you just say, we're going to do it, bi-monthly.
Yeah.
The gym I go to do it annually, which is fine. But what I find is that if you give it, and if it's annual, this is just what I've seen. Someone far cleverer than me might give you a data insight number on this. So maybe I should do a number on it. They do it annually. And I think if you do it annually, you'll have missed people, because people come and go within the 12 months. Yeah. Some people have had a 12-month experience. Some people have had 2 months, which is totally different.
Yeah.
And it gets missed. It doesn't create a culture of constant feedback. So I think if you're doing it monthly or bi-monthly to begin with, at least people know that at some point I'm going to get that. It's an expectation. So again, 1 month they might not do it, but when they see another one come out in a couple of months or a month, they might go, oh, got another one, I'll do this one. So you might find that it creeps up. But making it not wordy, making it simple, quick, even, and the title of it should be something like, hi, can you just answer these 4 questions for me? Not here's an annual survey, or fill this in and get a free class next week. Something like that, even if you're putting them in names in the hat for a prize draw, those kind of things are great as well. What I would say, if you start to do things like that, it's always nice. And this is something I used to do. I remember taking 2 cinema tickets once and putting them under one of the mats. And at the end of the class, when they were putting them away, someone pulled up and went, what are these? I said, you've just won Marvin's Golden Mat Award. And it was really funny and everyone laughed. But then I thought to myself, I've just given them 2 cinema tickets to go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yes.
Although it's good to do that, and I, do it as well sparingly, you're also giving away your business. I don't mean to be too bad, but you should probably reward them within your class. So if it's, if you're using yoga blocks or bands, give them one of those, because they're using it at your class. Give them a new mat or give them something they can wear to your class. Don't send them somewhere else to have the reward of your class.
This is brilliant. But I mean, you see businesses do that all the time. Oh, win a meal at Nando's or wherever. You send them to Nando's to be a Nando's customer. You want to keep the business within house, don't you?
Exactly. Keep it all in, and you can see that, and then make a bit of make a song and dance about that. You've got to reward things as well. That's not just activity. You have to look at things. Attendance is great, but also if they've not been for a while and they come back, reward that. And you should know that kind of information. How often people are coming. When they've done 100 classes or 50 classes, there should be something that they can do, or have a little board. You can get these little whiteboards from the pound shop, and you can write things on them. So you could write, let's say someone comes to, I'll use fitness Pilates again just because I know it and I love it. Let's say someone does a plank for 30 seconds, but they do it on their toes. It's their first time. Right on there, I just did my plank on the toes for the first time. Have a little photo with them after.
I love it. Like certificates,
yeah, like a little certificate, and wipe it off, put another one there. So it's things like that they're only small, but what a lot of people say to me is that they want to drive more traffic on social media, and they want to find, but they don't know what to do, and they end up doing, okay, let's just go in the garden and do the splits, and I'll film it. And it's things like that. And they just think, well, it's content, and it's funny, but it's also a bit like, okay. But I think, if I looked at your or anybody's social media, and I say yours is a bit different in your case, Rachel. If I find, I don't know, a personal trainer, let's just use them, or a gym instructor, group exercise instructor at a local gym, and I go on their social media page, what I see in those first 10 pictures are a reflection of them as a person in the business. If all 10 of them having selfies in a toilet of themselves with the top off, kind of gives me an impression of them. If it's a personal page, do what you like. But if you're trying to promote inclusivity, people coming to your class, different ages and what they do, I mean, it's more frequent, I suppose, when you see, I don't want to jump off, it's not off the topic, but if I use a different example of a gym, because I don't want to offend anybody. If I Google a gym, and if I can't look at that gym and find out things like the opening times, what kind of equipment they've got, what the showers look like, is there parking, they're all the things that are barriers to entry.
Yeah, they are.
And you go on there and you've just got, here's Susan, the new personal trainer, doing as many press-ups as she can in 1 minute. That's not going to get me in the gym, because it's just not an incentive. It's a brag from her, and it's not motivating for someone that doesn't want to go to the gym and is put off by that. So I just think there should be a little, we should be just conscious of what we're putting out. And is it too much of me trying to go viral, or is it much more of me trying to get people in the class? But again, this is not me poking fun or anybody at all. Everyone has a strategy. I'm sure someone listening will say, well, I do that. I bake muffins in a thong and I get loads of followers.
Oh, Mark. This is right. I love the surveys, because that's something that I think nobody's doing or doing very little, and they can implement that for free today, right now, that can have an impact on your business. And now you've explained that it's not that you might just get 3 people email you back, that you do it again, and people see. That's the key, is the perception, is them seeing you being proactive. That's such a golden tool. Any other quick customer experience, simple technique that you can think of that could be implemented like that? Because that's golden.
I'm just thinking about, how do you make things as a process easy? If I just pick
Mm.
one out the top of my head, is it easy to find you, what you're doing? Do you have a booking system or is it not? And if not, tell us what it is. I just think earlier on, I made an example of saying someone that works in UX or CX. User experience and customer experience are normally involved in the same thing. If I looked at trying to book your workout or trying to book you as a personal trainer, could somebody walk through that journey and process easily? How difficult is it? Is there too many steps in there? Because it could be too many. And how easy is it? How time consuming is it to do that? I just think back to a friend of mine who came to me, and this was years ago, and said, "Look, I've not got time in session one to do a par queue." I'm like, but okay, just make it on Google Forms and
Yeah.
send them a link. And then your onboarding is, okay, I can see that someone's just signed up for my class, PT session, whatever, fill in the blank. What's your next step? Send them a quick video on WhatsApp. Hi, I've just seen you've signed up. Thanks very much. This is what's going to happen next. I'm going to send you an email, and that email is going to have a link with a par queue. I need you to fill it in before you come to the session to make sure I can be prepared. It goes to them, they fill it in. The response comes back, when it's there. You can read that before. So session one can be more about getting going and less about, session one, which you can have a chat. Because no one wants that. If you've joined the gym and you're going for session one, you want to get going, and that you can get straight on with your assessment of movement or whatever it is you want to do, get some figures written down. And that's another good one. Write things down or make a note, take images, whatever you need to do, but validate what you're doing, make it easy, and then follow up as well. I've always said this, when I did my personal training course, we never got assessed on aftercare. When I did my sports massage course, one of the fundamental things was aftercare. I thought, why do we not do that in the fitness industry? But we do in let's say it was at a beauty school I went to for sports massage, but beauty therapists are quite well versed on that, or even hairdressers. Don't wash for 3 days, or wear this cream, or whatever. They will always do that. But personal trainers and group exercise don't. And at the end of your last class, when did you say, hey guys, this is what you might feel in the next 24 hours? This is the kind of nutrition you should be trying to think about in the next 48 hours. This is what might happen. Let me know if there's any difference. And then maybe follow that up with an email. And that could be your next newsletter, your next outreach email. These are the things that you should be doing. It gives you the topic. I remember once I covered a class for somebody, and at the end of the class, we had a couple of minutes. We'd finished a stretch, and I just said, I don't know why I did it, Rachel. I just had this thing. I said, excuse me, whoever it was, front right, didn't know anybody there. What are you going to eat when you go home? It finished at 8 o'clock. It was 7 till 8 on a Tuesday night. I said, what are you going to eat when you go home? And she was like, I said, sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot. Has anyone got any tips on what they could eat when they go out as a good late night post-workout dinner? And obviously, it's like, not much. I mean, I'm a stranger and I've just thrashed them for 1 hour. I was younger. And so this is what I'm going to eat. I said, I'm going to eat this for this reason. I'm going to eat that for this reason. And they're like, oh, wow. And I justified what I was doing. Now, I was only teaching a group exercise class, but so many people at the end came and said, that's a great idea, great tip. We've never done that. So all of a sudden, I've converted them from group exercise class to potential PT clients.
Yeah.
Because if they knew that there was more to do this, I never told them everything. I never told them macronutrient breakdown. I was just saying, I'm going to go and eat this, this, and this, and this is why. But we've got to always think of what's next. And that's what, again, if I bring this to a summary, you've got to think proactively, not reactively. There's no end point to this. What's next? I'm going to teach my class. What do I want them to achieve next? The next day, the next week? Do I want them to do this in the future? And you've always got to have the next step. Because if not, you've not got reoccurring trade. And that's where gyms lose members. That's where PTs lose clients, where class numbers dwindle when it's bank holiday. What's next? Plan your month, plan your week. You should know when it's bank holiday coming up. What's your plan for that? What's the opening times? When's your holiday? All this should be on a calendar. Publish your calendar every month. Not like I'm going to the dentist. But this is July or August or whatever. These are the events that's coming up. But also look locally as well, because you want people to come to you because you're a source of knowledge. If you know there's a village fete going on, if there's a festival going on down the road, so traffic might be bad, or any of those things, put them on your monthly social media as well, just so you know these are the things that's happening, or these are the things you get involved in. Those kind of things work as well. So think out of the box and out of there. And again, we're not trying to contradict what we said earlier about sending people away. That was to do with reward and incentive. But what we are thinking now is, following you on social media should be something of interest,
Yeah.
not bits in the garden.
Yeah.
So
you are brilliant, Marv. Oh my gosh, this is going to be part one. I'm going to drag you back to do another one.
No problem. I think it'd be good to look at sort of what are the next steps in the planning. We can do something called impact mapping, where we look at getting things on paper and making a list of what things can work for you now and what things you can work towards. So that would be a good one. And then just have a look at what are the fundamentals of customer experience and how do I make sure I'm hitting all those checkpoints as we go along. So there's so much we can do, and we can pick topics, we can look at companies, but what my sort of homework for everybody that's listening to this or watching this is to just have a look at other companies, other industries. We look at other fitness professionals. I mean, you've got to remember, someone said this to me, some wise person that I married eventually, which she said to me, your social media feed is just other people in fitness. So you only ever see, your top 30 posts are other people in fitness. So you never see what anyone else is doing. And that's what you see as the gold standard. Now, someone that comes to my class only has me as the fitness person, and they've got 29 other things to watch. So they normally see, Joe Wick or The Rock or someone like that. But you've got to think that our social media as fitness professionals is very different to someone that's not a fitness professional. So what we could do is look at other industries, motor industries, Home Depots, places like IKEA, phone companies, and just think to yourself, next time you're ordering, next time you're shopping for something, what do they do? And what 1% of that could I take and put it into my business? I guarantee if you just did that for three or four different things, your business, your operation, your success rate will be tenfold higher just by looking more as a holistic view and not just what you're doing in that moment. Think proactive, not reactive.
Fantastic. I'm just now off to make a personal video to everybody that's bought level 3 Pilates in the next 3 days. You are a genius. I'm so glad you've come back into my world, Marvin.
No problem. Well, there was a real reason for it. I'm working for TRX. So most people know that as a suspension training strap, but we do lots of other gym solutions now, which is probably why demand for my services is there, racks and rigs and basically trying to make engaging spaces in gyms, not just a one-stop shop for bicep curls and then you're done. Let's look at the whole thing. So anything I can help people with, or any of the team, they're all at your disposal. We can all help and advise on.
Marv, that's brilliant. And I'm going to fit out my garage. It's going to be a TRX sanctuary in the next 6 weeks. Marv, where can people contact you if it's gym related? Where are you now hanging out?
If you want that, email mburton@trxtraining.com, or you can find me on social media at MarvinB360. 360-degree solution there, Rachel.
There you go. On where's your favorite platform, Marv?
Like either LinkedIn for work or Instagram, and I draw the line there. I'm done at that. Two and done. We obviously from the business look at all the platforms, but for me personally, they're the two I like to operate around.
Fantastic, Marv. As always, fantastic. Thank you so much for your time.